buying a home in today's market is not only incredibly tough, but also incredibly expensive. Here are 3 things that I would personally do as a realtor with over a decade of experience if my goal is to save the most amount of money possible. The reason I bring this up is because I just yesterday had a buyer consultation, young couple, and they're, hey, listen, the market's tough. You know, we saw people when we were growing up get homes for 100, 150, 200,000. That doesn't exist anymore. What would you do if your goal was to save as much money as possible? So obviously when we're talking about saving money, you're gonna have to give up something, right? There's gonna be some kind of concession. So this is what I told them. Number 1, take advantage of the deals with the new construction because, you know, I know they're gonna be, you know, people call them cookie cutter homes and they don't believe they're built as well as they were in the 70s, and they don't have the character or the charm. Yeah, all that being said, you still got to remember that they're going to offer you a crazy, not all of them, and you got to get them at certain times, and you got to have to use their lender, but in most cases they're going to offer you like a crazy 4.9% interest rate. They're going to pay your closing costs. So not only are you not bringing a lot of money to the closing table, but your payment's going to be cheaper than someone with a home $50,000 or $60,000 more expensive because the interest rate is so much lower. So that's a huge savings right there. The number 2 thing I told them, and this may not apply to everyone, but is to buy a single wide or double wide home on a good piece of land, because this specific client, they wanted land, right? They wanted a couple acres, and I'm like, listen, to get a couple acres on a stick-built home, that's going to be very expensive. You know, 350, maybe 300 if you're lucky, and it's a very rural area. So realistically, if you get a single wide or double wide, you're going to get that land for a lot cheaper, and your payment's going to be a lot cheaper, obviously, because you're financing less money, but eventually you're saving up money 5, 10, 15 years from now. Now you knock that single wide, double wide down or move it somewhere else, right? And then build your dream house, but you already have that land. So that's another thing that I told them. And the third money saving tip that I told them is, instead of looking for what everyone else is looking for, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath or more, hey, do you really need 2 bathrooms if it's just a young couple, maybe a young children or whatever the case may be? Or maybe you would like to ideally have the 2 bathrooms, but you gotta, tighten up right now and save the money and make a good financial investment so that eventually you can get that dream home and not be, pricing yourself out or being house poor, as we call it in the business. So quick recap, this is not gonna be for your dream home, right? This is gonna be to save you some money, but get you into home ownership and building some equity. Number 1, take advantage of those new construction specials. You can call me, I can tell you all about what I know in the area. There's a lot of builders that are offering a lot of different things. Number 2, consider a mobile manufactured home that's gonna be on some land that eventually you can knock that down when it's paid off and then build your dream home there. And number 3 is either to get yourself something that's a fixer upper, right? Certain loans are going to require that certain things are met, but either get you a fixer upper that you can paint, replace